It was a crazy, crazy game one on Wednesday night between the Knicks and Pacers. Will game two be as wild? Perhaps. But more importantly, I've got side, total, player prop analysis, free picks coming up right here for game two Friday night right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And we cashed our best bet on the Pacers in game one for my clients. Never in doubt. They're only down by 14 with 2.5 minutes to go. But seriously, they actually covered about 70% of the game. They were leading outright in the first half. But yes, it was a crazy comeback. Mentioned the Pacers were live in the series. I gave that to you in the video for game one, and they've gone from being plus 140 now to, last I checked, about minus 150. It's funny, when the game finished on Wednesday night, the adjusted series price was minus 180, but we've seen some money come quickly in on the Knicks. In fact, it's gone from minus 185 down to minus 150 on the Pacers. Sharp money has knocked the Knicks series price from 155 down to 130 plus money. And I agree with that move. I do think the Knicks bounce back here in game two. And as I said earlier, they had a 14-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go, had a 9-point lead with 55 seconds, had an 8-point lead with 35 seconds. Isn't it ironic, karma, whatever you want to call it, that the Knicks had those back-to-back 20-point comebacks against the Celtics in games 1 and 2 last round, in which the Celtics shot poor from three. Knicks came from behind to win. Well, the Pacers did it to the Knicks last night, and of course, that's nothing new for Indiana, or 2 nights ago. It's nothing new for Indiana, as they did the same thing against Cleveland. They overcame the 20-point deficit in game two. In fact, Indiana's now had several comebacks with the less than 90 seconds remaining, in which they've trailed by double digits in this postseason. Only one team had done it the previous 340-some times. The Pacers have done it like 2 or 3 times in the past month. Does the luck run out? Well, obviously, if you're hitting the three-point shot, it's not going to run out, and that's what Indiana did pretty well in the game. They were 15 for 37, 41% from three. The Knicks, meanwhile, were just 11 for 34, 32%. So, yes, Indiana had a 41 to 32% edge from three. They had a plus 12-point edge from three-point range, and they only won the game by 3 points. So the Knicks are plus 9 from everywhere else. Knicks have been the more physical team basically against everybody throughout the playoffs. They got to the free throw line 40 times in game one. The Pacers only got there 28 times. So the Knicks had 12 more free throw attempts at home in game two, coming off the loss with the physicality rating. I expect that to continue. Total is going to be interesting here. Obviously, I'd like the game one over. I gave that to you in the video. I said Pacers, I said over, and it cashed. I know some of you had a monster night on Wednesday. And by the way, I love the comments. I read the comments not just before the games, but after as well, because many of you come back. Love the support here on Wager Talk TV. And a few of you had some huge weeks. I know, Lawrence, you had a 6 out of 6 sweep on Wednesday, one of your biggest paydays of the month, of the year perhaps. So once again, let us know when you're cashing. Love to see that the video is helping, because both side and total cashed, and also some of the player props. I will get to some player props here for game two in a moment, but let's talk a little bit more about the total. I mentioned I thought game one would be a shootout, and obviously it was. 273 points in total, and overtime they scored 23. So once again, it was 250 points, 125 each going into overtime. So it already soared over the total. And keep in mind, last year, these teams played 7 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals in early May, and games 1 and 2 were shootouts. 238 points in game one, and they came right back in game two and did not slow things down with 251 points last year. And those totals were around 218. They finally bumped them higher. Might be a little bit different this time around, though, because you got to figure, while the Knicks like to play up-tempo more than they have in years past, maybe they learned their lesson in game one and they'll want to slow it down a bit. We'll see how that plays out, but I do think it'll be interesting to see if game two is a bit slower. And then game one, of course, the game one total was around 221.5. They've already bumped the game two total about 5 points higher. In fact, the opening line, 226.5. I'm even seeing some 227s out there. So yes, this line is inflated now after the game one results. So maybe we're starting to get some value with the under. Do we dare take a Pacer team total under? Once again, if the Knicks bounce back, I think they're going to look to slow things down. Indiana wants to play fast. That's never a question. They need to play fast. They're a really good offensive team. Defense is suspect at times. So if the Knicks do slow things down, maybe Indiana under 111.5, team total 111. Shop around, even see a 110.5. So we'll say 111 for the Pacer team total under. I know it's risky because they're a high-scoring shootout team, but you got to think maybe the Knicks learned their lesson after blowing that big lead in game one. Do they look to slow things down here in game two? If I was a coach, that would be what I look to do. So maybe the Pacer team total under is worth a look. All right, let's look at some player props here. Always like to take a zigzag approach. I talk about this a lot, not only handicapping sides and totals. And once again, we're taking the zigzag. If you go Knicks and under, you're taking the zigzag from game one. But player props work well with the zigzag also, especially in game 2 after the first game. The reasons for a few reasons. First of all, the market sometimes over-adjusts by a point or so if a guy has a really good or bad game. But also the other team makes adjustments. And if a guy really hurts you in game 1, they're going to look to shut him down in game 2. And there's a couple of guys I thought that vastly overachieved. Nesmith, we got to talk about Aaron Nesmith. 9 for 13 shooting, 8 for 9 from 3. My goodness, can't shoot any better. He had 30 points, but Aaron Nesmith, I think, once again, has to regress here in game 2. And if the Knicks do clamp down a little bit more defensively, he'll probably be the first guy because he was 8 for 9 from three-point range. To put that in perspective, he had 30 points. The 3 previous games against Cleveland, he did 13, 12, and 7. His team total was 12.5 and then 11.5 in game 1. Now I see it as high as 13.5. So this is an example of what I'm talking about. They've bumped him about 8 to 9% higher in just one game. Nesmith under 13.5 points makes a lot of sense as he had 13 or less in the 3 previous games before that breakout game in game 1. And once again, he can't shoot any better. 9 for 13, including 8 for 9 from 3. So Nesmith's a guy I think that will regress for Indiana. I like his points prop under 13.5 on game 2 Friday night. By the way, this game on TNT at 8 o'clock Eastern Friday. Halliburton, what are you going to say, man? He's either feast or famine, right? And he also took a ton of threes, but he was only 4 for 12 from three-point range, and Halliburton still finished with 31 points. He shot well from two-point range. He finished 8 for 11 from two-point range. And one of those twos, of course, is what sent it to overtime. He drives to the hoop, gets scared, the big man in front of him. He turns his back and goes out and shoots a turnaround 3, which is one of the worst shots you could possibly take. It turned out to be a turnaround 2, which is the worst shot you could possibly take. And they go to overtime. So another reason the Pacers are fortunate to win game 1. They would have covered. I would have been fine with the Pacers plus 4.5 for my clients if it had just ended there. I was actually getting a little worried when they counted as a 2 and it went to overtime. But nonetheless, Halliburton probably regresses a little bit as well. He's always hit or miss. He had 11 assists. Never really want to play his under on assists, but his under points may be worth a look after the 31. But once again, he didn't shoot that well from 3 and still got there. But he was a big piece of the puzzle. So I think Nesmith and Halliburton probably regress. Halliburton, by the way, was at 16.5 in the final game against Cleveland. Scored 31, and then he had 31 again at 18.5. Now he's as high as 20.5. So you can see that this has bumped almost 25% higher, 20% higher over the past couple games. So I do think we get some value maybe for one of those regression games that we often get from Halliburton. And I do think that coincides and correlates somewhat to the Knicks bouncing back with a win here in game 2. On the New York side, always like to play the big boys over. Jalen Brunson, 43 points, monster. One of the most overrated players in the NBA. I've said it for several seasons. He was only 1 for 6 from three-point range and still finished with 43 points. It's because he took 25 shot attempts, got to the free throw line 14 times. Karl Anthony Towns, 11 free throws, 9 for 11 there, 35 points. The two players, Brunson and Towns, had 25 of their 40 free throw attempts, and they combined for 78 total points and took 42 shot attempts. Not looking to fade Towns or Brunson anytime soon. Probably not a lot of value left, but it would be over or pass for Towns and Brunson. If they bounce back, the Knicks bounce back and get the win, got to figure they're going to do the heavy lifting in game number 2. One guy that didn't do much, by the way, was Josh Hart. I want to talk about him. He played 44 minutes, only had 6 shot attempts, hit 50% of his shots, and only had 8 points, only 1 for 3 from three-point range. So we'll see if Hart becomes more involved, but he did not do much in game number 1 on Wednesday. Hey, there you go. Deep dive into side totals and player props for you. Game 2, Friday night, 8 Eastern on TNT. Do me a favor. Thumbs up, like, and comment below if you're liking these videos. I've done every NBA playoff game this postseason, and I will keep them coming every day. Thumbs up, like, positive comments below. That's all I ask. And also ask, so if you have some time, include your predictions as well. Sides, totals, player props. How are you approaching game 2 on Friday night? Hey, if you have some time, include some analysis as well. Let's learn and earn and win together here on WagerTalk TV. I honestly believe we have the sharpest and smartest sports betting viewers right here on this channel. And hey, we got over 200,000 subscribers. I'm sure you're one of them, but if not, take a second, click subscribe, and you might want to consider clicking that bell as well, because then you'll get an instant alert when these videos are posted. We're getting them up the day before the games for you. Since there's just one game each day, we're getting them up nice and early. So if you click that bell, you'll get an instant alert. You'll also know when I post free baseball videos daily throughout the week here on this channel as well. Don't forget what my personal best bets. I'm giving you a lot of free opinions here in these videos, but my personal best bets, the games I'm actually using, go out to my private clients at WagerTalk. And it's so simple. If I have a game, every client gets it. Doesn't matter if you have a 1 day, a 1 week, a 1 month, or a 1 year subscription. I have one set of plays. They're my personal best bets, the same games I've won with consistently for the last 29 years since I became a full-time professional handicapper in 1996. 4 decades of winning. And you can put it to work for you with the direct subscription at WagerTalk.com. Different packages to choose from. One day you can buy one play, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. But there's a couple special offers I want to point out that are going on right now. Site-wide right now, we have our Memorial Day to Labor Day special. And as an added bonus, if you sign up right now, you get this weekend included. You don't have to wait till Monday to start. The sooner you sign up, the more days you get for free this week leading into Memorial Day. And that is all sports, all access for the next 3 months through Labor Day on September 1st. So, yes, that gets the start of football as well. That is $5.79. That works out to just $5 a day for baseball, basketball, and football for the next 3+ months. Or if you want to take a longer-term investment approach, you might want to consider my 1-year all-access special with promo code SM365. It is 1 year, 365 days and nights of football, baseball, and basketball, college and pro. Every best bet I release for the next 365 days and nights. That gets all of next year's college and pro football seasons, all of next year's college basketball season, all of next year's NBA into the playoffs, the rest of this year's baseball into next year's baseball. You get the point. It is an all-encompassing 365-day all-access, and promo code SM365 gets you an instant $811 discount, which means it gets it down to just $3 a day, just $1 a play for all sports best bets. That is how you take a true investment approach and play consistently each and every day and get the same plays I've won with consistently for 29 years. Last summer, by the way, this is a great time to get on board. I keep mentioning it, but I know some of you are new or haven't heard me in the past. This time last year, we went on a monster run, and we're doing it again. In fact, over the last 30 days, I've won over 25 units of profit already in just 30 days. Last summer, we had doubled our bankroll by the end of August, up over 100 units by the end of the summer. And I'm looking to do it again here in 2025. Obviously, the NBA playoffs are great for us. We're number one all time on NBA sides, number one in the NBA last year, including the monster playoffs. But that's winding down. The bread and butter moneymaker for the next several months before football begins is baseball on a daily basis. I was number one in best bet profit last year in baseball, over 100 units alone in baseball. And as I said, we had already doubled our bankroll by the end of August. Now is a great time to get on board. I mentioned the all sports specials, the 3-month Labor Day special or the 1-year all access with promo code SM365. Or if you want baseball only for the next several months, we do have baseball only packages. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 month, 1 year, full season. But one I want to point out to you here in the video is the All-Star Break special. This is a very popular intro as it gets you the next 2 months through the All-Star Break in mid-July, so about 2 months, July 15th. And normally it's $4.99. If you go to my page right now, you're going to see the normal price was $4.99. But with the promo code you see there, *399, you get an instant $100 discount. It's an instant discount, 20% discount down to $3.99 for the next 2 months of baseball through the All-Star Break. And that's a great way to get on board my red-hot baseball that is so profitable this time of the year. So once again, if you want a baseball-only starter, get through the All-Star Break for just $3.99 by using promo code STAR399, *399. Look, I threw a lot out there for you. You don't have to memorize all the promo codes or the special offers. They're all listed on my homepage right now, along with my daily best bets. And, oh, by the way, a bonus free play. I don't want to waste that last cut from my best bet card. That strong opinion goes up as a free play for everybody each and every day. Game that was just a bit outside for making the cut. So check out the daily free play. Check out the strong best bets every night. And check out those special offers and promo codes. And get to my page quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. And by the way, I post every best bet, win or lose. Every best bet is posted each and every day afterwards on my page. A rolling recap of the last 20 best bets is always available. And you can click on them as well to read the analysis to see how I do things. Check it out, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. On the way out, don't forget to follow me on social media as well, at Steve Merril. You see it on the screen there, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because you know there's more free play videos coming up next.